Next, we have a wand of screaming. So this usually goes for around 180, or a gem, any gem, just bring a gem. Now, the deals do not end here, folks. For $230, this candle of Vorpal Storms lets you cast Knife Rain at will.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Snow White. She was the most beautiful girl in all the land. She was so beautiful, she drew the attention of the evil queen. The queen was jealous of Snow White, so she sent a huntsman off to kill Snow White. The huntsman came across Snow White in the woods, but could not bring himself to do it. He told her to run away and to never return to the town. She agreed and ran off into the woods. Just as the moon began to rise, she found a small cottage. The lights were on and the door was open slightly. Snow White decided to take shelter in the cottage for the night. She would explain to the homeowners she had nowhere else to go if they returned. She made her way upstairs and fell asleep on 7 little beds. Soon after, the dwarves returned home from a hard day of work to their little cottage. They went up to go to bed, and, to their shock, there was a girl there. They all shook her awake and asked what she was doing in their house. Snow White explained everything about the evil queen and the huntsman, and how she could never return home. The dwarves were saddened by her story, and allowed her to stay. The next morning, the dwarves told Snow White to open the door to no one. Snow White agreed, and the dwarves left for work. A while later, there was a knock at the door. Snow White went over to see what it was and saw a little old lady selling apples. Snow White was happy to trade her comb for an apple with the old woman. But little did she know, the old woman was the evil queen in disguise. The apple was poisoned. Snow White fell to the ground in a deep sleep. When Snow White awoke, she found herself somewhere she'd never seen before. There was a lot of fire and brimstone around her. She saw people being blown away by tornadoes and coffins on fire. It was such a scary sight. Snow White wondered what could have happened for her to end up in an awful place like this. She looked around, seeing if there was any way out. She looked left, then right, then down. She looked up just in time to see a truly terrible sight. A shower of spears was heading straight towards her. She couldn't do anything but scream as she was hit by the downpour of weapons. She crumpled to the ground with many spears sticking out of her bleeding, dead body. And they all lived happily ever after. The end.